This show is... it's kind of... It's bad, okay? It's really fucking bad. I have tried and tried, but I just couldn't find a single good thing about it. It's just pain! Pure, concentrated pain! In fact, I dare say that it just might be the worst anime in the entire world. And yes, that is meant to be taken seriously. Welcome to my review of Garzey Swing. And may God help us all get through this. May God help us. Garzey Swing is not just a bad anime, it's straight up horrible, and it makes absolutely zero sense. I seriously considered knocking myself out with a hammer just to escape the sheer misery of watching it. But why is Garzey Swing so bad? Well, let's have a look. Be afraid, be very afraid. The show starts out with a male protagonist, Chris, riding on his motorcycle, when suddenly his soul, spirit, or whatever the fuck it is, it's never really explained to us properly, gets swiped away by what I think is supposed to look like a swan, but in reality this kind of looks like a giant goose. Keep in mind that we're barely 2 minutes into this shit and it already makes no freaking sense. So, if your brain hasn't already turned too much, we are greeted to the biggest what the fucking hell is happening moment I have ever seen in my entire life. Seriously, watch and tell me if it makes any damn sense to you.
Use the power of the earth and water and power of Amida.
What the? Who are you? A damn ghost?
Why do you think this is the work of a ghost?
Then who are you? Are you Yamato Takeru no Mikoto?
A man is falling down. A young man, isn't he?
Whoa! What is this?
Not even 3 minutes in, people. Not even 3 minutes. Chris arrives in the world of Bison Will, where a rebellion is going on between the Mitomia's tribe and the Ashigaba army. However, Chris is not just a regular dipshit, he has the power of Garzey Swing, which grants him the ability to sprout giant shiny wings from his ankles. Yeah, I know, but trust me, it's best not to ask too many questions. We soon find out that Chris was summoned to the world of Bison Will to help the Mitomia's tribe win the war against the Ashigaba army. Because, you know, a dude who can fly around looking like a complete moron is apparently totally helpful. And so, you might think that I'm done summarizing the plot, but oh no, I'll have to sorely disappoint you. Because somewhere in between the million unexplained plot points, we find out that there's somehow 2 Chris's. One in our world, and one in Bison Will. Is it ever explained why? I think that by now you should know the show well enough to understand that there is no way in hell that they're ever going to explain this. Anyway, the Chris's are able to communicate between 2 necklaces that they're both wearing. How does it work? What a surprise! Nobody knows. However, the Chris in our world soon falls ill, because apparently the Chris in Bison Will is using up all his energy. And yes, that makes about as much sense to me as it does to you. So, that is the plot. It is utterly horrendous and wait! Is this crotch on fire?
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong.
So, yeah, back to the plot. It makes no fucking sense. It strongly feels like it was written by a kid with ADHD and can therefore not focus on anything for more than 3 seconds. A perfect example is this woman who keeps throwing weapons at Chris for him to use, but he never even uses them. He doesn't even fucking notice.
Chris, use this!
Yeah!
Chris, use this!
But believe it or not, the plot is not even the worst part. Incredibly enough, we are dealing with something even worse, and I'll give you one guess to what it could be.
If you had a convenience store, then I would live with you.
You better tie down that sword with a rope and carry it on your back.
Ah!
Ha! Ha! Whoa!
He's just a human. Humans are just human.
Damn you, Yamato Takaru no Mikoto!
Yes, it is the god-awful dub. I mean, my god, is it bad. Not only is the dialogue incredibly forced, but the voice actors could not make a good performance to save their own lives either. I mean, seriously, where did they find them? Did they just pick random homeless people off the streets and lock them inside a recording booth? I just have no words for how bad this is. It is so ridiculously awful. Don't believe me? Well, then you should watch this. But I do have to warn you. What you are about to watch is, without a doubt, the worst voice acting in the history of mankind. It is so bad that every time it plays, a puppy dies and somebody gets diagnosed with AIDS. So, keeping that in mind, let's proceed. Oh, wait just a second. Now I'm ready.
Sataurad, would you give us honor and come with us?
Although we can't pay you until after we rebuild our country.
No, I'd like to stay on my own. Although I'm looking for an employer, I would rather watch the Matomiya success from the distance.
Oh God. You want a reaction to that? You want a fucking reaction? Well, here's your damn reaction. This was actually worse than the fuck hit stop of One Piece. You heard me right. Something was actually worse than the despicable shitstorm that is the fuck hit stop of One Piece. And let me tell you something. If your dub is in any way worse than one where Sanji sounds like this,
Hey, gorgeous! You remember me, right?
it's really fucking bad! Now, to be fair, the horror of the dub is not entirely caused by the voice actors, even though this bastard is not exactly proving my point.
Survive as long as you can!
Most of the blame is actually to place on the dialogue itself, which is just so bad that not even the entire cast of Cowboy Bebop could save the dub. I mean, it's just such a direct transcript of the Japanese, it just makes me wonder if they just Google translated it all.
Ow! Grandma, why did you make hot noodles on such a hot day?
However, not even the god-awful translation is completely at fault. The dialogue is just kind of naturally bad and feels way too forced. It just kind of seems like they were trying to squeeze as much information into a single sentence as possible, which, ironically enough, causes it to make absolutely no sense. So, all in all, the dub is by far the most infamous aspect of the show. But now that I'm done ripping it apart, I guess you want me to talk about the characters. Talk about what? What characters? Seriously, most of their names are not even mentioned throughout the OVA. They have no personality at all. There is nothing for me to talk about. And if you're expecting any kind of backstory or character development, well, clearly you're expecting way too much. So, that is Garzey's Wing, and holy fuck is it bad. It makes absolutely no sense. The animation is awful, and the dub is just... I don't even think there's a word in the English dictionary that could possibly describe how bad it is. But, you know, to be fair, it kind of gets so bad at times that it's just really damn funny. So, if you have way too much time on your hands and are looking for a cheap laugh, I guess I would recommend it. And thus, I bid you farewell. I hope that you have immensely enjoyed watching my suffering, and I'll see you in my next review. Bye.